Election Day in the United States is always a momentous occasion. It's when citizens exercise their right to vote and shape the future of their nation. November 5, 2024 is no exception. This Election Day carries immense weight. It marks the culmination of a fiercely contested campaign between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. The eyes of the world are on America. The outcome of this election will have far-reaching implications, both domestically and internationally. It will determine the direction of the country on critical issues such as healthcare, climate change, and the economy. In the final hours leading up to Election Day, both candidates made their final appeals to voters. Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee, addressed a large and enthusiastic crowd in Philadelphia. She emphasized her message of unity and her vision for a more inclusive America. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, the Republican nominee, held a rally in Raleigh, North Carolina. He continued his attacks on Harris and reiterated his claims of a rigged election. Trump's rallies, once drawing massive crowds, have dwindled in size in recent weeks. As the campaigns drew to a close, both candidates expressed confidence in their chances of victory. However, the outcome of the election remains uncertain. The race is incredibly tight, and the result will likely hinge on a handful of key states. Millions of Americans across the country are casting their ballots today. Voting procedures and deadlines vary from state to state. It is crucial for voters to be aware of their state's specific rules and regulations. Most states offer a variety of voting options, including early voting, absentee voting, and in-person voting on Election Day. Early voting, which allows citizens to cast their ballots in person before Election Day, has become increasingly popular in recent years. In this election, over 81 million Americans took advantage of early voting options. For those voting in person on Election Day, it is important to check polling hours and locations in advance. Voters should also bring a valid form of identification to the polls. As the polls close across the country, the attention of the nation will turn to the arduous task of counting the votes. This process is a cornerstone of democracy, ensuring that every voice is heard and every vote is counted. The anticipation and anxiety that accompany this moment are palpable, as citizens eagerly await the outcome that will shape the future of the nation. Given the tight race and the unprecedented number of mail-in ballots, it is possible that we may not know the winner of the election on election night. The surge in mail-in voting, driven by the ongoing pandemic, has added a layer of complexity to the electoral process. Each mail-in ballot must be meticulously verified and counted, a task that requires time and precision. Some states, such as Pennsylvania, are not allowed to begin counting mail-in ballots until Election Day. This regulation, intended to ensure the integrity of the vote, means that the counting process in these states will start later than in others. As a result, the final tally may be delayed, leaving the nation in suspense. This could lead to significant delays in reporting results. The sheer volume of ballots, combined with the need for accuracy, means that election officials will be working around the clock. The pressure to deliver timely and accurate results is immense, and any delays can lead to frustration and uncertainty among the electorate. In addition, the high volume of mail-in ballots could increase the likelihood of errors or irregularities, which could further complicate the counting process. Each ballot must be carefully inspected for any discrepancies, such as mismatched signatures or incomplete information. These issues must be resolved before the vote can be counted, adding another layer of complexity to the process. The possibility of delayed results has raised concerns about potential misinformation and unrest. In an age of instant information, the delay in results can create a vacuum that is quickly filled with speculation and false information. Social media platforms can become breeding grounds for rumors and misinformation, which can lead to confusion and distrust in the electoral process. Both campaigns have urged their supporters to remain patient and to wait for all the votes to be counted. The message from both sides is clear. The integrity of the election depends on a thorough and accurate count of every vote. Patience and trust in the process are essential to maintaining the stability and legitimacy of the democratic system. Section 5. Battleground states, where the election will be won or lost. While the entire country is engaged in this pivotal election, a handful of states, often referred to as battleground states or swing states, are expected to play a decisive role in determining the outcome. These states are the epicenters of political activity, where every vote counts more than ever. These states are neither reliably Democratic nor Republican, making them crucial targets for both campaigns. The political landscape in these regions is often fluid, with voters swaying between parties based on current issues, candidate appeal, and local concerns. States like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Florida, with their significant number of electoral votes, have been flooded with campaign ads and visits from both Harris and Trump. These states have a history of swinging between parties in past elections, making them unpredictable and highly contested. The candidates have tailored their messages to appeal to the specific concerns and demographics of these crucial states. For instance, in Pennsylvania, issues like fracking and manufacturing jobs are hot topics, while in Florida, healthcare and immigration take center stage. The outcome in these battleground states will likely hinge on factors such as voter turnout, the ability of the campaigns to mobilize their base, and the impact of independent and undecided voters. High voter turnout can significantly alter the dynamics, as seen in previous elections where last-minute surges have tipped the scales. Campaigns are investing heavily in grassroots efforts, including door-to-door canvassing, phone banking, and social media outreach, to ensure their messages resonate with voters. Volunteers play a crucial role in these efforts, often working tirelessly to sway undecided voters and ensure supporters make it to the polls. Local debates and town hall meetings also provide platforms for candidates to address specific regional issues and connect with voters on a personal level. These events can be pivotal in shaping public opinion and swaying undecided voters. Additionally, the rise of early voting and mail-in ballots has added new dimensions to the election process. Campaigns are adapting by encouraging early voting to secure votes ahead of Election Day, reducing the uncertainty of last-minute changes in voter sentiment. On election night, all eyes will be on these battleground states. The vote counts from these regions will be closely monitored, as they will provide early indicators of which way the election might swing. The tension and anticipation will be palpable as results start to trickle in. Ultimately, the election will be won or lost in these battleground states. The candidates who can effectively address the concerns of these diverse electorates and mobilize their supporters will emerge victorious. The stakes are high, and the nation watches with bated breath. Section 6. Deciphering early voting patterns. Political analysts and strategists are closely scrutinizing early voting data for any indications of how the election might unfold. While early voting trends can offer some insights, they are not always reliable predictors of the final result. This year, over 81 million Americans cast their ballots early, either by mail or in person. This surge in early voting is unprecedented and reflects the high level of interest and engagement in this election. However, it also makes it more challenging to predict the outcome. Experts caution that early voting demographics can differ significantly from those who vote on Election Day. Additionally, the reasons behind early voting, such as convenience or concerns about the pandemic, do not necessarily correlate with a particular candidate preference. Section 7. A nation at a crossroads, the stakes of the 2024 election. The 2024 presidential election is about much more than just choosing a new leader. It represents a pivotal moment in American history, a moment where the choices made by voters will shape the trajectory of the nation for years, if not decades, to come. It's about the direction of the country and the future of American democracy. The decisions made in this election will influence the core values and principles that define the United States, from the protection of civil liberties to the pursuit of economic prosperity. The stakes are incredibly high, and the outcome will have profound and lasting consequences. The elected leader will have the power to shape policies that affect every aspect of American life, from healthcare and education to national security and international relations. The COVID-19 pandemic, the ensuing economic crisis, and the nationwide protests for racial justice have exposed and exacerbated deep divisions within American society. These events have highlighted the urgent need for effective leadership and comprehensive solutions to address the systemic issues that have long plagued the nation. This election is seen by many as a referendum on how to address these challenges and bridge the divides that threaten to tear the nation apart. Voters are looking for leaders who can unite the country, heal the wounds of the past, and build a more inclusive and equitable future for all Americans. The outcome of the election will also have significant implications for American foreign policy, climate change policy, healthcare policy, and a host of other critical issues. The next president will need to navigate a complex and rapidly changing global landscape, forging alliances and making decisions that will impact not only the United States but the entire world. The stakes could not be higher, and the choices made in this election will reverberate far beyond the borders of the nation. Section 8. The specter of recounts and legal battles. Given the close polls and the polarized political climate, the possibility of recounts and legal challenges looms large over this election. Both the Harris and Trump campaigns have assembled teams of lawyers prepared to contest the results in key states if necessary. The 2000 presidential election, with its protracted legal battle over the outcome in Florida, serves as a stark reminder of how recounts and legal challenges can plunge the country into weeks of uncertainty and turmoil. In the event of a contested election, the courts, including the Supreme Court, could play a decisive role in determining the winner. This adds another layer of complexity and significance to an already high-stakes election. Section 9. Inauguration Day. A new chapter begins. Regardless of who emerges victorious, Inauguration Day, scheduled for January 20, 2025, will mark a new chapter in American history. The newly elected president will inherit a nation grappling with formidable challenges, both domestic and foreign. A peaceful and orderly transition of power is crucial for the stability and continuity of the government. Both the outgoing and incoming administrations have a responsibility to ensure a smooth handover of power, even in the face of potential disagreements or disputes. The world will be watching closely as the United States inaugurates its next president, eager to see how the country will navigate the challenges ahead and what role it will play on the global stage in the years to come.